Naoya Inoue has been called many things in the boxing world, most famously, the Monster. A Japanese warrior with a baby face but the fists of a knockout beast, he's earned a reputation for demolishing those who disrespect him, whether with words before the fight or with their actions in the ring. Over the years, he has faced opponents who underestimated him because of his nationality, mocked his name, or even insulted his family. Each time, Inoue responded the only way he knows how, with precision, brutality, and the kind of calculated violence that leaves no doubt as to who is the superior fighter. One of his most memorable moments came when he decided to chase a second world title by moving up to Bantamweight to face the much taller British fighter, Jaime McDonnell. Many Western fighters at the time underestimated Inoue, seeing him as just another Japanese champion who had never faced the best on foreign soil. McDonnell himself ridiculed Inoue's name, acting as if it were too difficult to pronounce and referring to him simply as Inoue. That arrogance would cost him dearly. When the bell rang, McDonnell tried to use his height and reach advantage, keeping Inoue at bay with long jabs. But it didn't take long for the Japanese fighter to close the distance. Inoue's timing, footwork, and explosive punching quickly tore down McDonnell's defensive wall. Less than a minute into the fight, a powerful left hand to the body forced the Brit backward toward the ropes. Inoue swarmed, unleashing a barrage of punches that left McDonnell dazed. A second knockdown ended the brief but painful introduction, as McDonnell was stopped inside the first round. The man who claimed he couldn't pronounce Inoue's name had now been made painfully familiar with it. After dismantling opponent after opponent in Japan, Inoue set his sights on making an impression in America. His U.S. television debut came against an American fighter who believed the Japanese champion was overrated. This opponent dismissed Inoue's record, claiming most of his fights had been in Japan against smaller men and that everything had gone his way because he was at home in a lower weight class. The time for talk ended the moment the first round began. Inoue instantly set the tone with a stiff, powerful jab, backing his opponent up and controlling the pace. His movement was measured, his punches crisp and accurate. The American tried to return fire, attempting to go to the body, but Inoue's composure and precision were on full display. In the second round, the monster began to find his rhythm, landing clean right hands behind the jab and mixing in sharp hooks to the body. A huge right hand followed by a perfectly placed left to the ribs left his opponent grimacing in pain. Inoue smelled blood and finished the round with more punishing hooks that had the American leaning against the ropes. By the third round, the Japanese champion was in full control, letting combinations fly with little concern for what came back at him. A perfectly timed uppercut snapped his opponent's head back. The home fighter was fighting in front of his own crowd, but was clearly being worn down. In the fifth round, a thudding left hook to the body sent him to the canvas for the first time in his professional career. Though he beat the count, the minute that followed was pure agony. Inoue hammered his midsection with more hooks, forcing him to survive until the bell. The domination continued into the sixth, and while Inoue even found time to taunt him, the American had no answer. His corner mercifully stopped the fight, sparing him further punishment. It was a statement victory, showing the U.S. audience that Inoue was no paper champion. Next came Emanuel Rodriguez, a man known for his toughness and unshakable chin. Rodriguez entered the bout believing he could succeed where others had failed. In the build-up, however, tensions flared. At the pre-fight workouts, Rodriguez's trainer aggressively shoved Inoue's father, Shingo, who also serves as his trainer. Inoue remained calm, but his cold stare promised retribution in the ring. When the fight began, Rodriguez pushed forward aggressively, eager to assert himself. The first round was competitive, with both men exchanging heavy shots. But Inoue was studying him, looking for the perfect opening. Early in the second round, he found it, a lightning-fast left hook to the jaw that dropped Rodriguez for the first time in his career. The Puerto Rican beat the count, but Inoue immediately went to the body, sinking another left hook into his liver. Rodriguez's face twisted in pain, his legs unsteady. A final crushing blow folded him in half, and the referee waved it off. In under 2 rounds, the man with the uncrackable chin had been cracked and dismantled. Inoue continued his dominance in the bantamweight division until July 2023, when he made the leap to super bantamweight to face the reigning WBC and WBO champion, Steven Fulton. At the time, Fulton was considered the top fighter in the division, known for his skill and ring IQ. Confident in his ability, Fulton spoke of his experience against fighters like Inoue and suggested the hype was more about a Japanese boxer succeeding than about Inoue's actual abilities. The opening bell showed how wrong that assessment was. Inoue came out sharp, his jab fast and snapping, his combinations flowing with precision. Fulton, normally comfortable dictating pace, found himself constantly reacting instead. Inoue moved like a man who already knew the ending to the fight, cutting off the ring and firing blistering counters whenever Fulton dared to throw. By the 7th round, the Japanese star decided it was time to close the show. A thunderous straight right hand to Fulton's chin staggered the champion, and a follow-up left hook sealed his fate. Though Fulton managed to rise, he was trapped against the ropes moments later, absorbing a flurry that forced the referee to intervene. In his first fight at the higher weight, Inoue had completely dismantled the division's top man. In May 2024, Inoue faced one of his most personal challenges. His opponent was Luis Nery, a Mexican fighter despised by Japanese fans for 2 prior knockout wins over Shinsuke Yamanaka, victories tainted by Nery testing positive for a banned substance and missing weight. This was more than a title defense, it was a chance for vengeance. Shockingly, in the 2nd round, Inoue was dropped for the first time in his career. The crowd in Tokyo's Tokyo Dome fell silent. But the knockdown only fueled his fury. Rising with determination, Inoue came out aggressively, looking to hurt Nery at every opportunity. Moments later, a perfectly timed left hook sent the Mexican to the canvas, evening the score. Nery survived the round, but the momentum had shifted completely. The 3rd round saw Inoue hunting him down relentlessly, forcing him into corners and landing punishing combinations. Nery, perhaps looking for a way out, complained to the referee about punches to the back of the head. The monster ignored the theatrics and kept delivering heavy shots. In the 5th round, Inoue's precision shone. 2 short left hooks in the corner dropped Nery again. The bell saved him once more, but the end was near. Early in the 6th, Inoue landed a clean right hand that buckled Nery's legs and sent him collapsing into the ropes. The referee waved it off, sealing a brutal revenge victory. The crowd roared in approval, knowing the cheater had been punished in the most decisive way possible. Not all of Inoue's demolitions have been drawn-out affairs. In December 2016, he defended his WBO junior bantamweight title against #1 contender Kohei Kono. This fight would not last long. From the opening bell, Inoue attacked with blistering speed and pinpoint accuracy. His opponent smiled in the face of the assault, but his body language betrayed him. A crushing combination dropped him, and though he got to his feet, the Japanese champion poured on the pressure. Another series of blows left the challenger helpless, and the referee stepped in. The destruction had taken less than 2 rounds. Across his career, Naoya Inoue has shown time and again that disrespect, whether aimed at his name, his heritage, his family, or his record, comes at a heavy price. His style is a mix of discipline and savagery, honed through years of dedication but unleashed with ruthless intent when the bell rings. He reads opponents like an open book, identifies their weaknesses, and then attacks with frightening precision. Fighters who come in overconfident often leave the ring not just defeated but broken, physically and mentally. From Jaime McDonnell's dismissal of his name to Luis Nery's tainted victories, Inoue has faced a variety of motivations to bring his best. Whether in Japan, America, or on the world stage, he has delivered performances that both entertain and intimidate. His combination of speed, power, and technical mastery makes him one of the most feared boxers in the sport today. Inoue's career is a testament to the idea that true champions don't just win, they dominate. They silence doubters not with words, but with actions. And for the monster, those actions come in the form of perfectly placed punches that end fights in spectacular fashion. Every opponent who has underestimated him has paid the price, and every fan who has watched knows they've witnessed something special. Naoya Inoue doesn't just beat fighters, he dismantles them, piece by piece, until nothing remains but the memory of the moment they stepped into the ring with a legend in the making.